Oh, wins it. I believe she took it. Well, I'll double check the results, but she does. She gets it 9:31.79. Camelli 9:31.84. Rainsberger takes third in 9:32.12. Wayment falls back into fourth, I believe. But Norris with the late breaking kick. She was in third place when she hit that final barrier. She was in third place with like 20 meters to go. She was in third place with 10 meters to go. And then she was in first place with a centimeter to go. What a run for Mahala Norris.
Oh, my goodness.
Woo!
Mahala Norris, what an upset, man. 9:31. So that equals what Wayment had run earlier this year. PB for her, PB for Camelli, PB for Rainsberger there. And yeah, you look at Mahala Norris's recent performances and what she did in cross country, and she's one of the nation's best, just chipping away. And when it came time for steeple season, she took advantage. Yeah, farther down on that list, you had Prowse get a PR, you had McCabe get a PR, and you had Jennings get a PR. So 6 of the top 7 get personal bests in this race. And I think the Wayman, I noticed it a couple laps earlier, the issue was the water barrier. It looked like she was losing a lot of momentum off of the barrier every single time. And then her last one, it was particularly difficult and totally threw off her rhythm. And then it was tough to get back at that point. And looking at this tweet now, Mahala Norris is from Roseburg, Oregon. So not too far away from Eugene. So cool story there for her to take this steeple title. 2 upsets now, Gordon, in the 2 distance races that we've seen thus far. What's been the common thread in your mind?
Common thread is anything can happen, right? I don't know if that's a patent phrase, but anything can happen. Norris, you watched her compete in the B race, right? In cross country. Mm-hmm. She was in the B heat of cross country back in January, February. In February. And then now, a few months later, she's the steeplechase champion, beating someone who we thought was the heavy favorite in Wayment, who threw down all of her fast times on the indoor track. Rainsberger, who's the vet, who has been kind of consistently in All-American status after transferring to Washington and taking on steeplechase. And Camelli, who's the indoor 5K champion and showed no reason to be any different when it comes to the steeplechase. And it was Norris, the underlooked athlete that no one was talking about. We talked about her a little bit during the race, but it's just great. You mentioned a few minutes ago, like, who's going to be the surprise type athlete, like, that we're not talking about. Well, this isn't a surprise with a world-class mark. Seeing Camp and Norris both win, like you said, is a surprise. And we could see, I'm thinking now, the 5K and the 800, we're going to see another name that we haven't been thinking about win those 2 races.
All bets are off. I'm looking at Norris's results page. So 4th in cross country, which was incredible because she came from running that B heat earlier in the season. But this was her first year. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gordon, if you see some different stat. This is her first year running the steeplechase. It looks like she made her debut at the West Coast Relays on April 30th when she ran 10:03. That's the first result I can find. And then she ran at Mountain West. She ran 9:44. Then the prelim a 9:54, and then she ran a 9:37 in this first round of the semifinals of the NCAA championship. So she's still completely new at this event. That whole top 5 was kind of filled with people who were new to the event or have been running the event for the first time in a while. Wayment, first year running it since 2017. You mentioned Katie Rainsberger switching to the steeplechase. But for Norris to do what she did there, coming into the year, she's a good runner, right? She had run, she was All-American in cross country in 2019, finished 39th. But then this March, she does that double, right? So she gets 4th in the 5,000 and then 4th at cross. I mean, she just puts herself in tough events and tough situations and prevails. That seems to be the thread going through Mahala Norris's career here. So she got 4th indoors in the 5, 4th in cross a couple days later, then decides to do the steeple, and then becomes an NCAA champion. Unlikely story.
What are the odds you think that Norris can sneak on to the Olympic team? I mean, 931, that's in the same range as, Mel Lawrence, Leah Fallon, Marissa Howard, Val, Constantine. Obviously, it's not in the Frericks Coburn range, but with Quigley being an unknown, we haven't seen her race much since her 3K back in the beginning of the year. If Quigley's not herself, you have to think that third spot could become open. Could we see Norris be the making her steeple debut in 10:03, and then later that year being on the Olympic team? It would be incredible.
Yeah, I see it as the tiers that you described: Coburn and Frericks, then the big question mark on Quigley. And if Quigley's in 9 teens shape or faster, then that's going to be the team, and we'll revert back to the top 3 that has been constant for several years now. But if she's not, then you have the whole 920, 930 club, of which there are several members right now: Constantine, Lawrence, Fallon, Howard, Weymouth, now Norris, Wilson. Like, there's a number of people who are going to have an opportunity to make that squad. Now, if, as I said before, and it bears repeating, if Quigley is, near Frericks or near the shape that she's been in before, this thing is going to be 3 away. It'll be an interesting race for 4th, but right now, without having seen her race, we just don't know. And in the meantime, these women, obviously in the United States, are ratcheting down their PRs, and you have new people joining the events. But yeah, if Quigley is in 9:15, even 9:20 low shape, you go with her. You like her. But in the chance that she has an off race or she's not quite prepared, there's women there right behind. And I thought Wei would be the best candidate for that, because she runs the 9:31 in the debut. Okay, where does she go from here? But now you obviously have to consider Norris. And it's interesting, right? They both ran their opener in that West Coast Relays race, and Weymouth beat her by 32 seconds. Rainsberger beat her by 14 seconds. And then now, in June, Norris beats both of them. Things change very quickly in the sport. That's a remarkable turnaround.
Very, very true. Very true.
All right. What's next?
You tell me. What is next?
I don't know. I'm hitting refresh on this page. I have too many tabs open. I'm not a big tabs guy. Oh, we're about ready for 100-meter hurdles. We're about ready for 100-meter hurdles.